Hey everybody, Flip with Kelly. Kelly coming at you. How's everybody doing this morning? Continuing on with the questions that changed my life. Number 3. This is the Tim Ferriss. He asked, what would I want to do, be, and have if I had $10 million in the bank? So if you can just imagine that you've got 10 million in the bank, or maybe you got to believe that you've got 1 million in the bank, and then 10x that. However, it'll get you there. You know how many zeros are in 10 million, right? There's about, what, 7 zeros with a 1 in front and a $sign. Maybe it's in your checking account. Maybe you can see that in your online banking. So that's pretty cool. You know, whether you made that or you won the lottery or whatever, it's sitting in there now. So, what would you do? What would we do, be, or have if we had that 10 million? So, and then next thing he asks is, and I guess the next thing we can ask is, what is my real monthly income target? So, monthly income target would be, if we're gonna get real with it, like, you know, what is your ideal lifestyle? You got 10 million in the bank, and you can have any lifestyle you want. What's your ideal lifestyle? What's it going to cost that we need to pay for our ideal life? So I'm not sure what your ideal life is. I guess this is the people you're going to hang out with, where you want to hang out, what you want to be doing. Our fantasies may be far more affordable than we expect. So if you kind of break it all down, I don't know if you're a bargain hunter or best bang for the buck, but some of these fantasies, ideal lifestyle, livelihood, might break down to not be as much as one might think, right? So, and also a good question to ask is, am I living under my means? So this can be kind of go two different ways, right? But you can mentally spend money. It doesn't mean that you just rip out a check for $1 million if you don't have $1 million, though, like literally. But in your mind, you could be writing out checks, swiping cards, and buying stuff mentally. I guess that to me is better than going in a bunch of debt. So Tim was at one point was he was basically admits he was a workaholic. He was working 15 hours a day, he says. It affected his wife, his fiance left him, girlfriend. So should we be putting family first? And are our relationships suffering? You know, are people leaving us? Might be making a good income, but is that all there is to life? Just earning money, if you know, if you're really focused on the money. But maybe we need more time freedom and mobility freedom. So it's about having the time to spend the time with the people wherever we want, however we want, doing whatever we want. Maybe I'm at the point where we've got enough income, and the net worth is doing good. Because, you know, obviously we need money to survive, unless you want to go crawl in a fox den somewhere and eat berries and pick mushrooms. And I mean, it's good to be able to live off the land to a certain extent if you have to. But then, you know, there's also that quality of life. So if you do have enough income and your net worth is sitting good, then might be time to look at the time freedom, and maybe it's everything's meant to be, right? Maybe that relationship wasn't meant to work out at that time. Obviously it didn't, so must have been meant to be. But did it have to be? If that's kind of the wisdom of all this. And do I need to, maybe it's a good time if things aren't going well. It's another thing Tim did here, just to ask ourselves, do we need to restructure our business? And then if we do need to, how do we do this? So if things are sitting good, then great. Maybe take the foot off the gas pedal a little bit. Maybe it's not all about becoming a billionaire, and nothing wrong with that if that's what you want to do, but looking at the big picture of life, can't take it with you. So your experiences, the feelings, the true treasures, those are the only things no matter how tight you hang on to that money, you're not going to be able to take it with you. But you can take the feelings and the experiences and stuff, the true treasures with you. So, and so, can we be happy and successful? Can we take time to smell the roses and enjoy the journey along the way? Maybe we can book like Tim did. Maybe we can take a well-deserved overseas trip. Book a trip somewhere, whether it's overseas or underseas or right at sea level. So, so that was the third question to be asked is, what if you do have 10 million in the bank, and wouldn't it be nice to have 10 million in the bank? Kind of like that preference thing, like to have a white hot desire, a preference, and then preference is maybe in the middle of that stick and leaning towards the positive. Some people get so they try to focus on the what they want, and then it causes them to focus on the other end of the stick, which is the lack of, like they have they focus on the lack of not having what they want. So sometimes to lighten up and just, wouldn't it be nice, kind of like the Beatles song. My preference is it's about being comfortable where you're at, but the reach always exceeding the grasp. So being happy and comfortable where you're at, content, appreciating what you do have, and at the same time reaching for more, and being curious, and wanting to improve, and just getting the most out of life, right? Squeeze the most out of it that you can. So enjoy. You guys have yourself a great rest of your Wednesday, and I will do the same. And much success to you, and getting 1% better, get a little better each day, and enjoy the journey ride the wave while it lasts. This is Kelly. Smash the like button, push the subscribe button, and stomp on the share button. Later.